Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 8 of Personal Development Training Series. My name is Mohammad Reza Fathi, and I'm a life coach. What we do in life echoes in eternity. I believe that your life is going to be separated to before and after personal development training. This episode is about self talk. Self talk is a part of the inner world, and inner world was a branch of self awareness. I invite you to watch previous episodes in according to how we publish them. As I said, this episode is about self talk. Have you ever wondered what is this sound that lives within me? What is this voice that I hear all the time? There is a dialogue inside me. What is it? This is called self talk. Scientists believe that in a period between 3 to 5, a child becomes aware of the dialogue that lives within his mind. A child begins to think that there is something going on in my mind. So the first time you became aware of what you think and how you talk to yourself was when you were a kid. There's an experience that most mothers have. When a child wakes up, not to eat and not to cry, but to listen to himself. That child is trying to understand and look at the dialogue that lives within his mind. A child becomes aware of his self talk, and that's how his life actually begins. So, the important thing about self talk is that we are talking to ourselves all the time. 24/7, we are not talking to other people and we are not listening to podcasts or our phone. We are talking to ourselves. In this episode, we are going to discuss what this self-talk is, how important it is, and how does it impact our life. Let's begin with a definition. There is a listener in our brain and there is a voice. Between this listener and that voice, there's a dialogue. That dialogue, that conversation is called self-talk. There is a speech in our brain that is always going on. We call that self talk. Now, why does it exist? You have a life, right? This life is separated to two parts: external life and internal life. Your external life is your job, how other people think about you, and society. This is called your external life. What about your internal life? Your self image, how you see yourself, how you talk to yourself, your inner world, your thoughts, your words, the identity that you have with yourself is called inner world. Now, in order for you to be able to live effectively, you need to have a language. You need to know definitions. You need to know what success means. You need to think, okay, this is the world. This is job. This is man. This is woman. This is who I am. And this is what should I do. You need to have certain definitions. Without those meanings, without those words, without how we think about those meanings, how can you live? Before oxygen, before water, you need meaning. Now, in order to produce that meaning, you need some sort of language. No meaning can be derived without language. That language requires a conversation. And that conversation is called self talk. It is self talk that tells us who we are, what should we do, how do we look like, how other people assume us, what things mean, and what we should do. Now, let's talk about how important self talk is. Consider your inner world. You have a space within you, you have a mind. Think of your inner world as a tank. There is a space within you, there is a tank. Okay, every time you draw a judgment about yourself, every time someone comments on you, every time you reach to a success or failure, a smoke is being poured out into this tank. For example, red smoke is negative judgment. Each time you call yourself a loser, incapable, you lost again, you messed up, there is a red smoke in your tank. And now consider green smoke. Each time you talk positively about yourself, there is a green smoke published in this tank. And after a while, these smokes together combined produce a result. For example, green plus red equals brown. Black and white equals gray. And these colors produce your general feeling. You see, sometimes we want to change the world. Sometimes we don't even have the motivation to do the small things. Sometimes we don't care about anybody. Sometimes we are so sensitive. Just take a moment and think about how you feel right now. Where does that feeling come from? It comes from your inner tank, and your inner tank is influenced by your past, your experiences, how you think of yourself, and your self talk. Each word has a meaning, and each meaning is a smoke. And these smokes together combine produce your feeling. Now, the important part is that this feeling draws out a map, how you see yourself. It produces an image, self image. How you see yourself is produced by your inner feeling. When you feel bad, you don't say, I'm going to change the world. And when you feel good, you say, I'm going to become successful. I'm going to go out. I'm going to make some changes. I'm going to do some stuff. So, an important conclusion, your actions, your decisions, your performance is directly related to your view of yourself. Your view of yourself is highly influenced by your inner tank, whether you are positive, whether you're motivated or not. Have you ever thought about it? That this conversation that we have in our mind, that we take for granted and we don't question it, is influencing everything inside our life, from how we see ourselves to our income. And finally, your actions, decisions, and performance equals your destiny. Is destiny anything but your previous actions? No. Where does those actions come from? Their qualities. They come from your self-image. Your self-image comes from your inner tank. Your inner tank comes from your self-talk. Now, in order for us to practice this sentence, I need you to consider certain possibilities. Imagine 8 people with different self-talks. I need you to move forward towards the future and come back and see for yourself that their destiny is highly correlated with their self-talk. Someone has self-confidence, has a high self-esteem, has a good view of himself. Go forward, move forward in the future. He takes better actions, he makes better changes, he's good at become compatible with other people, so eventually his future becomes better. And now consider someone with a bad self-talk. He has a low opinion of himself, he always criticizes himself, he humiliates himself. What type of action does he do? Does he change the job that he doesn't like? Does he defend himself when other people attack him? Does he have the energy to produce and cultivate the necessary discipline to make his life better? Probably not. So, self-talk equals destiny. Imagine your life as earth. Imagine your mind as sky, and imagine each thought as a cloud. Your self-talk produces those clouds, shapes them and colors them. And those clouds make rains in your sky. And that rain is going to be delivered to your earth and your life. So imagine every drop of thought that you have, every single piece of conclusion you draw out about yourself is going to become a part of your life. Would you treat your self talk lightly? So, consider the clouds of your thoughts your destiny. For example, all mothers want a good future for their children. They want their kids to be healthy, successful, and independent. Now, consider two different types of mothers. One has a bad self talk, the other one has a positive self talk. Consider number one. She always humiliates herself. She has a low opinion of herself. Every time she cooks, she's like, this is bad. This is all you can do. Look at other people. They go to university, they have their separate jobs, they have financial freedom, and you're stuck. This mother is going to train her child. Son, be independent. What does the son hear? What type of energy does he receive? Son, you have to treat yourself properly. Does she even think about this? Does she even have the courage to change her son's mind? Probably not. Now, consider example number two. A mother has a positive self talk, and now she's raising two children. When she's cooking, she's like, okay, this is my job, this is my responsibility. I chose it, and I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to do it cheerfully. If she's working, she's like, I'm financially helping my family. I'm very, very useful. Now, this mother is going to raise her children very, very differently. Imagine the kids come back from school and is like, Mom, I got a low grade. Someone treated me badly, poorly. How does that mother is going to behave? Son, be strong, improve yourself, just like your mother did. So you see, these external results that we want is an extension of our self-talk. No matter you want to raise kids, you want to build a company, you want to become a successful employee, whatever you want to achieve is directly related to how you talk to yourself. Now, let's talk about different types of self talk. Group number one, extremely toxic positive. There are a group of people who always talk positive about themselves. This number one is very dangerous because it's hard to notice and it's extremely hard to change. When you make mistakes, you should really have a conversation with yourself. And if your conversation is always positive, there is no room for error. There is no room for mistakes because you're always right. These groups are probably narcissists. They always have a high opinion of themselves. This is wrong because sometimes we make mistakes, we are prone to errors, and making mistakes, making other people unhappy, and we should always leave room for correcting ourselves. Self talk number two, negative self talk. You always humiliate yourself. There is no room for positivity. Everything in your life is about you being a bad person, a loser. You are nobody. You always criticize yourself. This group of people have a higher chance of fixing their self talk and actually repairing their life because at least they know there's something wrong with their life and with themselves. And self talk number three is neutral self talk. This is neither positive or negative. They have an objective view about themselves, about reality, and about what things mean. This neither leads to growth or decline of their life, but it is highly dependent on external circumstances. If you have a bad income, you will start to develop negative self talk. But if, for example, someone loves you on the outside, you will begin to make your self talk positive. And the fourth type, and the correct type, is the coach type. For example, you go to the gym, you hire a coach, that is really professional, highly talented, skilled, and kind. Not in a mother's way, but in a really good way. How does that coach treat you? He probably helps you grow. He doesn't intend to cover your faults and he doesn't want to insult you. He just want to push you towards something better. He wants to draw the best out of you. So the best and the most correct type of self-talk is to treat yourself like a coach. When you make a mistake, your coach says, "It's okay. Get your shit together and fix it." When you do something right, he's like, "Nice, good job, nice achievement. Let's move forward." So if you don't have a positive self-talk about yourself, you are probably untrained in regards of personal development and you probably don't have a specific goal because if you want to improve yourself, you have to have a good self-talk. Now, let's talk about how we can change our self-talk. Number 1, become aware of it and don't assume it as reality. Now, let's talk about how can we influence our self-talk. Number 1, you have to become aware of it. As you know, we are talking about self-talk, which was a branch of inner world, and inner world was a branch of self-awareness. So in this episode, we are strongly trying to become aware of our self-talk. So whenever you draw out a conclusion about yourself, you should say, this is not reality. This is how my mind thinks about what things mean. This is not me. This is not reality. This is a conversation. And conversations can be true or wrong. There is a conversation in my mind and I'm aware of it. Number 2, you got to question it. We listen to ourselves too much that we think everything that we say about ourselves is reality. No, you got to question everything. Is it your fault? Maybe yes, maybe no. Are you a successful person? Maybe yes, maybe no. Are you living the best life you can have? Maybe yes, maybe no. So questioning it is the cornerstone of changing it. Step number 3, you gotta want to change. You need to want to become the best version of yourself. If you don't have a desire to build the best life that you want to have, there is no need to improve your self talk. Why would you do it? Let it be negative, let it go. I'm just gonna criticize myself, forget it. If it's positive, if it's not, who cares? You need to develop a curiosity. You need to cultivate a thirst to become better in everything. And let me tell you, life doesn't let you to remain weak. Life will crush you. Economy, society, and other people will attack you and you have to defend yourself. And the only way to properly build a life, defend your family, and move forward is to make yourself strong. How can you do it? You need to have a desire. I'm going to be financially successful. I'm going to build a strong personality. This is my life. This is how I decide. I am not what has happened to me. I am what I choose to become. After you have developed this thirst inside yourself, now you need a coach. Now, step number 4, start treating yourself like a kind coach. Not very bad, not very positive. The right tone, the right words. Make yourself better. Treat yourself like a coach. Hire yourself as a life coach responsible to make every aspect of your life better, whether it is health, financial, family, or personal. I have a question. If you're not moving towards your ideal life, ideal personality, what are you doing? You need to have this intention inside yourself. Then you need to fix your self talk and become your own coach. We can't silence our self talk. We can only improve it. This is your only choice. What we do in life echoes in eternity.